Jimmy, thank you so much for being on Transatlantic. You are one of my favorite creative, and I'm very thankful to have you here today. I know your schedule is busy, so I appreciate the effort. Thank you so much, man.
Well, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Long time no holler, so this is dope.
So look, we believe that each of us is an ocean of erratic thoughts, and you, Jimmy, I met you a long time ago at TBWH Day, and I knew from the very first moment that you were a beautiful ocean. So I couldn't wait to cross your ocean. We're gonna ask you seven questions, like the seven C's, and hopefully I can expose a side of you that people don't know. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, my man. So first question. Almost every kid at one point in their childhoods scream, I want to be a sailor. Now, I read somewhere that a 1964 TV show called Bewitched, starring Samantha Montgomery and Dick York, made you fall in love with advertising. So apparently the creative wind start blowing your sails very early in life. So now, do you remember what about the show truly fascinate you?
Okay. Well, where are you from originally?
I'm from Rome.
You're from Rome. Well, so Rome. So now I know you taught me something. The Romans want to become sailors. When I was a kid, I wanted to play basketball.
Ah.
so that's where all that came from. I want to hoop. Want to play in the NBA, and my parents told me I needed a backup plan. And they said, you got to have a backup plan. I was like, I don't need a backup plan. I'm playing in the league. And they said, no. Mom, Dad said, you got to have a backup plan. So like you said, Bewitched was running. That was one of my favorite shows. And I had a buddy that said he was going to go into advertising. He ended up becoming a police detective. But it was between my buddy and him wanting to be in advertising, Bewitched, and I always knew I could write. I used to have, one of the things that would happen is your grandparents or your aunt and uncle would send you some money, and mom and dad would tell me I had to write them a thank you note. I didn't know that I could just write, hey, Uncle John, Aunt Bunny, thank you for the money, love you, Jimmy, and be done with it. I would write 1 or 2 pages, write it, not we didn't have a computer back then. So I wrote out, and they'd go nuts over what I had written. So I always knew I could write. And Bewitched, Samantha was beautiful. They had a big house. Darren didn't look like he worked too hard. If it wasn't for Endora, having to deal with his mother-in-law, everything would have been cool. So I just told him, I'll go in advertising. But I just thought that was a throwaway. I thought that would never happen. I thought I'd be in the NBA.
Oh man, what a beautiful story. And I remember your love for basketball. And by the way, here's a funny story about NBA and basketball. I was born in a small village near Rome called Rieti. And when I was a little kid, I saw a 5-year-old kid came and playing hoops in my backyard, and that was Kobe Bryant, because his father, Jelly B. Bryant, played for my town, Rieti. So he lived in Rieti for a couple years, and I was fortunate enough to see him play when he was a 5-year-old kid. So when
that's dope, dude.
Do you know any NBA player? I say, yeah, I saw Kobe Bryant play when he was 5.
You knew when. Did you ever see him as an adult?
No, because then I kind of lost tracks. But when I came to Los Angeles, I always had that story back in my heart, in my head, and it's a beautiful story.
That's a great story, man. Yeah. That's great.
Good. Second question. A sea captain is responsible for the safety of the crew, and the sea captain covers many roles. He has to be a manager, he has to be a cargo operation captain, he has to take care of the crew, has to take care of the safety. Now, there are many roles into one. Now, you, Jimmy, you have been a copywriter, a creative director, an author, a TV producer, a film director, many roles into one. You know a thing or two about roles, but my question for you is, What is the role that best fits your personality?
Creative. I'd just say creative because as you go, go in this life and do all those things, you go, ah, that's just like being a creative. Okay, cool. And you apply that sensibility to that. Obviously, there's nuances to making a video game and producing a comic book or uh, making a song or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's applying your creativity and your creative knowledge, that thing of curiosity to everything that you do. And it just kind of rolls. It's been kind of effortless. I remember when Charles Melcher, we had worked with a photographer named John Hewitt, me and John J. I call him Dr. J. He's a legendary cat at Uniqlo now. He's head of creative over there. But John Hewitt, our photographer, who we had done all these Nike print ads, said, "Hey, I got this book publisher, Melcher Media, and they want to turn your photography for Nike into a coffee table book." And I was like, wow, really? They're just a bunch of print ads. Who wants to read a bunch of print ads? But we had to write about the street ball legends. So I had to write that. We had to, I had my brother who's a poet actually round up a bunch of poets to add to it. But at the end of the day, it was it was awesome. Now, I do not want to denigrate what we did as print ads, but the book was a glorified print ad, and it was a beautiful print ad, but it had more pages and better paper stock and whatever and whatnot, and the cover to it. But at the end of the day, I was doing the same thing. I had to write when we were doing print ads. I had to write the ads, and when we were doing a book, I had to just do some more writing. So and curating. So it was the same type of thing. And I'm seeing that whether we're doing technology, right now we've created an oil company that'll create clean oil. So like if every truck, car, bus, or whatever use that oil, we could actually see the mountains in California. Mm-hmm. So it's all boils down to creativity. So to answer that question, it's
creative.
That would be the role.
That's the best title, and that's a great lesson for like people back home. Like, sometimes this industry get very caught into titles and stuff like that when it's just that simple sometimes. Like, I wish everybody had a title just like creative. Thank you, man. Sailors rely on wind to get where they're going. When sailings, like, ships rule the waves and trades turn around into a global enterprise. Now, kids will embark into an advertising journey tomorrow. There's going to be a guy or a girl that's going to start into advertising. Is there anything that they must rely on?
Determination. I'd say two things: determination and belief in yourself. Because the industry really tries to turn you down, tear you down. You're oftentimes in meetings, and you might have a boss that is, an arrogant asshole, and they feel uncomfortable if you have great ideas, even though it sounds odd. And then even if they are awesome, and you run into a lot of awesome people, and you run into awesome people with high standards, they're going to tell you you're going to run it. It's all about, I like that idea, I don't like that idea, I like that idea, that's great. Or if you do this, and you're going to get that, you present to the associate creative director, you present that to, or even your partner who you're partnered up with, right? They're going to say, no. Then you got to go to the associate creative director. Once you get past that, and that person, then the creative director, and then maybe the chief creative officer, and you got to go to the client. You got to go through that gauntlet again. So you have to believe that you have a dope idea, and you have to be determined when you know that you got a dope idea to figure out, don't accept no as an answer, to figure out how to get that thing through the gauntlet. And then even, I'm talking about once you're in the industry, but you got to have an extreme amount of determination and belief in yourself to even get in, because you got to get hired. You got to have, we know there aren't that many people of color, for instance,
Yeah.
in the business, and you're going to be presenting ideas that come from your cultural background. And a lot of people that you're going to present those ideas to are going to be white. They are not going to be people of color, and they aren't, probably may not understand the genius of whatever it is that you presented. And so it's going to be really hard. But if you take, I'll give you one example. I have a guy right now that works at a pretty big time agency, and apparently I didn't know, he emailed me twice. Twice. And he hates me because I didn't respond to his email. And it's only because, you know, I might get 200 emails a day. I just happen to miss. It may have gone into the
Spam folder.
into the junk folder. I don't know. I just learned this last week. It was so funny to me. I said, "You emailed me twice, and that's it." And all of a sudden, now I'm an asshole. but but determination, like, okay, if they didn't get you on the email, they miss you, emailed them 100 times, you didn't get them, okay, phone call. Figure out. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I emailed Dan Wieden to get in the, and ended up having to write a 5-page letter to Dan Wieden telling him why he should hire me and what a big mistake he did by not doing it. And I did everything but curse him out. And next thing you know, the following day that he received it, I got a phone call from Dan White and say, "Hey, we want to hire you." So determination, and then belief in the work that you're doing once you get in.
So I gonna take this piece, I'm gonna pack it, I'm gonna send it right to Europe, because that's such a treasure. That, like, it's one of the best advice you can ever give: determination and believe in yourself. Thank you, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
And look, there is a saying that goes, as the ocean is never full of water, the heart is never full of love. Which means, like, your heart can always, like, take more love, and the ocean can always, like, take more water. Now, look at the advertising industry. What the advertising industry could take more of it? What's missing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier when you asked what is the role? Creativity. I can't tell you how many times when I'm judging an award show, I saw that last year. I saw that the year before. I saw it the year before, the year before, year before. And oftentimes we'll reward that work that has already been seen before. And I can't tell you how many creatives I've worked with who say, "Well, you know, everything has been done before." And, you know, that's biblical, that everything under the sun has been done before. However, we like to say, you know, we want to do, okay, that's true. Can't deny the Bible. So we like to say, let's do the idea that hadn't been done in the last 100 years. So if
That's awesome.
if it hasn't been done since 1920, we good.
Yeah,
We good.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's a dope thing.
But if it's been done between 1920 and 2020, we don't want anything to do with it. So you want something that you know, is truly that most people won't understand, because it is new. It is truly new, and it takes them a minute to get. We had that with Nike Freestyle, for instance.
I remember that perfectly.
Thank you. We entered it in Cannes. It didn't do diddly squat in Cannes. Had to beg just to give it to have it make the short list. And then in the one show, it got a merit, not even a bronze. It got a merit, but now it's in the Smithsonian. It's in the Smithsonian Museum. So,
you know, one of the things that I remember the most about you, and, you know, I had the luck of, like, working on a couple of projects with you when I was at Chai Day. But I remember when I came at Chai Day Los Angeles, it was at the time where you were working on What's G. You were about to launch What's G. And I remember sitting with David Dow, my partner, and back then, and, like, you know, and there was a lot of rumors, like, and noises, like, you know, and I remember the first time I saw that kind of concept, not just, like, you know, the anthem video, but the concept itself. And it was so new to me And I kind of remember having that kind of feeling, like, you know, it's like, what, this is strange, this is weird, what they're doing, these people. And that's why I truly like fell in love with your skills, and like, you know, and then pretty much like all my time I just wanted to get back to work with you. But yeah, here we go, man. It's like a great answer again, and like, you know, so happy that we're doing this today.
No
Look,
doubt.
look, fifth question. You are considered by many a pioneer in the branded entertainment. In transatlantic terms, you were one of the very first to actually navigate that route, the route of entertainment. As a matter of fact, later in your career, you founded like a creative boutique, a studio called Amusement Park Entertainment, right? So let's look at the opposite side of entertainment. Tell me what's boring today in advertising.
What's what in advertising?
What's boring?
Oh, what's boring? Well, first of all, I do want to say I am not a pioneer in branded entertainment. Branded entertainment has been done, you know, many years before
Right.
me. If you take me out to the ball game that they play in the seventh inning stretch of every baseball game, take me out to the ball game, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, right? So every baseball game that you go to, a Major League Baseball game, they're saying Cracker Jacks, right? So that's branded entertainment. The Peanuts Christmas special was co-created. McCann Erickson worked with Charles Schultz, and their client was Coca-Cola. So that gave birth to the Peanuts Christmas special. And then another McCann joint is I like to teach the world to sing for Coca-Cola.
Right.
And so there's many examples of branded entertainment that was going. Popeye the Sailor Man, when he's eating the spinach,
Right.
I guess spinach farmers, you know, get plugged into that. So and I ate spinach for the very first time because of Popeye the Sailor Man.
Me too. Me too. I remember perfectly that.
Yeah. So I can't take credit for that. And last example of that is Haim Saban, who owns Hasbro, and they make those Transformer movies. So he's happy that they make a lot of money at the box office, but it's also more so to sell more toys. It's just a 90-minute ad commercial that sells toys. So I'd love to be the pioneer, but I'm just rolling with the cats who did it back in the day.
I guess to my eyes, like, you know, when I met you again, like, you know, and when I see your work, your body of work, it's very much like a mindset that always strive for something that is unique, that's something that is not traditional, or I must say like unorthodox. That's what I meant, like, for being like kind of a pioneer, one of the very first that like trying to do, like, you know, something different, like Replay. You like, you know, Replay was an amazing, like, you know, body of work that you guys produced, and like, you know, it was somehow like, you know, a breakthrough moments for the industry. So anyway, man, like, you know, I know that you don't want to take credit, but you are one hell of a like brand entertainment, let me tell you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so look, sixth question. A very large expanse of sea is actually the dictionary definition of ocean. Now it's clear, simple, and short. And we creatives have trouble, really trouble in like telling our parents what we do for living. You never really can explain. It takes like 20, 25 minutes and then you give up. I guess you already gave me this answer, but I'm gonna get back at you again. What would be the definition, the dictionary definition of what you do for a living?
That's funny. When you say that, when I told my parents what I wanted to do, like when I said, okay, I gotta give them an answer. All right, advertising. And I remember my mom was like, advertising? You don't want to go and advertise, don't you want to be? She wanted me to be an attorney and a lawyer. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna do advertising. Look at she was so mad. So it really is a tough one to describe, but really you make the world go round.
That's
I
good.
mean, you make people sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. We always try and do it in a good way. Like we're now at a music park, we try and get on meaningful products and have meaningful messages. And like I told you with our oil company, where it's going to mean something for the world. I got grandkids now, so I want people to want to use. I want the Shells and the Exxons and all those type of cats to want to use this oil because it's better for the planet, right? So you make people, you sway people, not make, can't make anybody do anything, but you sway people to want things that they don't necessarily, sometimes they don't need it. And like I said, we try and make sure it's product that they need, but you try and sway people to want things that they don't necessarily know or think that they need or want. That's what you do. And so part two of that is, if we didn't exist, if you didn't do what you did and I didn't do what I did, we'd probably still be working as I don't know, in the Stone Age or something, because
Right.
we move products. You buy stuff. You buy stuff. Oh, I need a new iPhone, or I need a new pair of Nikes, or I want to drink this. I want to drink that. You sway people into believing what you want them to believe. And if you do it right, if you come from a good place, you sway them to want things that are good for them. So for instance, organic food, that's good for you. That's healthy for you. And you want it to be organic. Why would you want it? Why would you want something to eat something, to ingest something that is, is different than what God created? Why would you want to put something on your body that if you can't eat it, don't put that lotion on your body. Don't use it as toothpaste. Don't use it as deodorant. You want things that are natural. So that's one example. But in other words, most people don't think it needs to be organic, right? What difference does it make? And so, and my job in that instance would be to sway them to believe that, or sway them to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
I will put that, man. Okay, man. Hey, look. So, last question is the same for like every guest. If there was a wind that blow your sail, what would the name be?
No, it's Jesus Christ. That's it. No, that's simple answer. That's why I do what I do. That's why I exist. That's why I got my family, my wife, my grandkids, my sons, and everything that I try and do in advertising. If you look over the years at the advertising I worked on, there's always some element of God in there. So I can take you all the way back to LeBron James when we did Book of Dimes. And I was talking to LeBron and trying to get an insight. I think he was like 18 then. And I kept bugging him. I said, dude, so how'd you become so good? I mean, who was your mentor? I don't know. Well, I mean, who was like somebody you looked up to, taught you the game, and da-da-da-da-da? I don't know. And I wouldn't let it go because I needed something to create the ad campaign. I worked with it with Jay Anta. You know Jay Anta.
Yeah, sure.
Jay Anta Jenkins. And we were trying to get to, like, what is the root makes this guy tick? And finally, LeBron said, I don't know, man. He got frustrated. He said, I don't know, man. God just blessed me. And it's like, thank you. There you go. And we did Book of Dimes, and we did that church / basketball thing. And he was King James. So King James, he was the chosen one, all these little things that rolled into that. So that was the spirit of what infiltrated that. And I did it that way. We did it that way. So every time he did an interview, he'd give the same answer. God just blessed me. And so for a kid to hear that, somebody as awesome as LeBron is, that God blessed them, and, investigate what that means, that'd be a good thing.
That's it. Hey, man, look, as I say, it's been a minute because last time I saw you was a long time ago, but what a pleasure, man, to cross your ocean. I can't be like more thankful that, you're great. And like, I loved your answer and like your way you think. And, thank you so much for being transatlantic, my man.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it. Like to sail the ocean.
Bye-bye, man.